The wait is almost over. The darkest night before the dawn is here, and Season 6 of The Chosen is about to begin. This is our clearest look yet at how the most emotional chapter in the series will unfold. And it starts exactly where the heart pounds the loudest. Season 6 will take us into the single most sacred night in history, the night before the cross. The opening of Episode 1 is set in the still hours after the Garden of Gethsemane. The mood is raw and tense. The disciples are scattered and afraid. Peter's guilt is burning. And Jesus, calm, steady, yet visibly worn, steps into the path from betrayal to judgment. It is heartbreak without noise, faith without comfort, and courage without applause. Almost the whole season moves in darkness. Production spent months shooting through the night in North Texas and Italy, building the heavy quiet of those final hours before the crucifixion. Crew members described a set where voices fell to whispers even between takes. The atmosphere felt weighted, as if the story itself demanded silence. That intensity wasn't just performance, it formed the rhythm of filming. A new behind-the-scenes moment makes the season's theme strike even deeper. There is a scene between Mary, the mother of Jesus, and John. In it, Mary says, "The closer we follow him, the heavier the cross becomes." That single line, written for this season, reportedly moved cast and crew to tears. It says out loud what the story asks every viewer to carry: love is costly, and faith hurts before it heals. Episode 1 will follow the trial of Jesus in a layered way many haven't seen on screen. It won't be a single courtroom and a single verdict. It unfolds across multiple hearings, first before Annas, then before Caiaphas, and finally before Pilate and Herod. Each appearance exposes something different: the machinery of power, the fear of leaders, the clash between truth and convenience. But above all, it shows the quiet strength of a man who refuses to answer hatred with hate. The goal is not to repeat what we know, but to make us feel what the disciples felt: confusion, terror, and the ache of watching truth stand trial. The actor who plays Jesus spoke about preparing for these scenes. He said you can't just act them. You have to live inside them even for a moment. He lost weight and spent time alone to carry the physical and emotional toll that the crucifixion requires. The performance is meant to be lived, not performed. It is a burden taken on willingly so the story can breathe. There is more. The arc for Mary Magdalene this season is bound to forgiveness. She does not understand why this must happen. She wants to fight, but her lesson is to stand still in love when action would feel easier. That tension between doing and surrendering gives the season a center of gravity. It turns pain into purpose and confusion into a hard, steady trust. The production is huge in scope. Filming has stretched across North Texas, Utah, and Matera, Italy, where the crucifixion sequences are being recreated with painstaking detail. Matera carries a strange echo. It is where the Passion of the Christ was filmed. That history adds weight to every set and every step, as if the stones themselves remember. In Season 6, place becomes character. The locations don't just host scenes. They press on the story with texture and time. Scale matters here, and the team is leaning into it. The finale of Season 6 is not just another episode. It is a feature-length theatrical event scheduled for May 12, 2027. It is the most ambitious project in the show's history. The budget for the finale alone is $30 million, with more than half already raised through crowdfunding. Every contribution is aimed at giving the crucifixion the scale, dignity, and realism it deserves on the big screen. This is not spectacle for its own sake. It is reverence with craft, and craft with conviction. And the story doesn't pause at the tomb. The resurrection, the beginning of Season 7, is planned for a theatrical Easter 2028 release. Imagine that moment opening in theaters during Easter weekend. The promise that ends one season becomes the beginning that lights the next. The arc from the night before the cross to the morning of the empty grave is being treated as a single rising breath. Cast members have said, Season 6 feels like living scripture. One performer admitted to visiting set on days he wasn't filming, simply to watch. There was something they could feel, something larger than the cameras and the lines. Perhaps that is what has made this series different from the start. It does not try only to retell the gospel, it tries to help us see it, feel it, live it. So here we stand, on the edge of the most emotional season yet. When the light fades and the world turns against him, will we still follow? Which moment are you bracing for? Jesus before the courts, Peter's denial, or the instant Pilate washes his hands? Share your thoughts. Hold them up to the light. The season ahead is not only about the cross. It is about the hour when love met darkness and would not step back.